There's a statement from the Dalai Lama. Everyone knows the Dalai Lama. Yes. That's a statement he made in India, in Mumbai, in 2001, about his perspective on compassion. He says, compassion need not be based on religion. It is part of human life. Irrespective of whether you are a believer or a non-believer, trying to be a warm-hearted person is essential. This has nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with philosophy. Without that sense of caring and concern to one another, you cannot be a happy person. When I read that, I was thinking, is this real compassion? To what extent is that compassion? Are there different levels of compassion? Who thinks this is compassion? What the Dalai Lama says.
Well, he doesn't really explain what he means by that.
No.
He's using a word that people might interpret differently, but if we understand compassion similarly, then yeah, I agree.
Okay, that's a good point. What is the definition of compassion? That's otherwise you have different opinions. Let's see to the dictionary. That in dictionaries, compassion is often described as a sense of shared suffering or empathy with a show of special kindness to those who suffer. That's what the dictionary says. So, if you understand compassion in this way, what the dictionary says.
It's a lower standard, is it?
Please?
It's a lower standard. I assume that, for me anyway, compassion is the ability to raise someone up out of a situation rather than to share in their pain.
Okay. That means that's compassion with an active principle. Really helping someone. That's a good point. Other proposals. Compassion.
I like the warm heart idea. I mean, at its most simplest.
Yeah.
It's hard not to feel a warm heart if you're feeling the dictionary definition.
Warm-hearted, yeah. Sure. Yes?
I was just thinking, I would have thought without a practical application, there wouldn't be much point in having compassion. If it's just a feeling that you kind of keep to yourself, there'd need to be some kind of practical, I would have thought, to make it, to give it value.
Yeah. Let's go to another expression that we find in many religions. It's called the Golden Rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Is this a special kindness? Is this a sort of compassion?
Well, I guess if one considers oneself with compassion, but some people might not treat themselves kindly. They might do unto others what they do to themselves, which is talk harshly.
Yeah.
But for me, yes, compassion has to start with myself, and I don't agree it has to have an action necessarily.
I think my conclusion was in the same way of thinking. When applied to a similar situation, this golden rule, when applied in a similar situation in an unsophisticated or inconsistent manner, it may lead to very uncompassionate results. the golden rule is a constancy principle, prescribing that our action toward others be in harmony with our desires about how we would like to be treated in similar circumstances. It does not tell specifically how to act. If a masochist tortures others and desires to be tortured in similar circumstances, then the golden rule is correctly applied while the person acts wrongly and uncompassionate. So, it's also a problem with that statement. Search for compassion. Now we come to a different perspective. This is the perspective of Bhagavad Gita. That the Bhagavad Gita is the Bible of the Hindus. So we have here this this book. It teaches the signs of the soul. And in Bhagavad Gita the difference is made: compassion for the soul and compassion for the body. And that's interesting. That compassion for the body, giving happiness to the body. Compassion for the soul, what does it mean? What are the needs of the body? What are the needs of the soul? What is the soul? How do we know? Do we have a soul? Interesting that my 11 years I study at university, theology, study of religion, up to PhD, and that we went to very interesting experiences that but there are certain things in our lives that are differently explained in different religions. In India, most Hindus, they all think I'm a spirit soul and I have a body. In the Western religions, it's different. They think I'm a human being and I've also a soul. That's a different way of thinking. But it's important to reflect on this. All religions speak about the afterlife. But if there is an afterlife, there must something what goes to the afterlife. And what's the issue? How do we know we are a spirit soul and not a body? That's because I tell you a story out of my own experience. 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, time goes quick, I was the head of an administration of a geriatric department in a hospital. And in that department were about 180 patients. And most of them were older than 80, 90 years old. Old people. And every week, 2 of them would die. I was very much confronted daily with death. That one day I was with an old man and he was going to die in the next minutes, hours. And his daughter was there. At the moment of death, I looked into his eyes and the last breath came. It's like the light in the eyes are going out. And the daughter started to cry. My father is gone, my father is gone. But her father is still there. The body is still there. What is gone? The consciousness is gone. The spirit soul means consciousness and desire. And where is this spirit soul? It's in the heart. From the heart, the consciousness is transferred to the whole body, to blood. Everywhere where there is blood circulation, you have a feeling that consciousness. Someone touches you, you feel the touch. You are aware. This awareness means consciousness. Sometimes when I'm sitting too long like this, I don't feel my underleg. It's like sleeping, but also sometimes. It's the blood that is a bit hampered. Consciousness. So that point of consciousness is never really explained. Not by theologians, not by scientists. Somewhere or another, they have all their theories. Where does this consciousness come from? This awareness. So that is a very important point to consider. There is the spirit soul and there is the body. Body and soul. That you can also say mind also. Mind is a subtle body. At the time of death, the mind goes with the soul, the subtle body goes to the next destination. There are so many instances of proof of reincarnation, but it's not necessary to go in all these stories of reincarnation. Like scientists agree, every 6 years all the cells of your body change. Every 6 years you have another body. That every 6 years. That are you a different person after 6 years? You have a new body. You are reincarnated. You have a new body. Are you another person? You go to the bank and you get a mortgage loan for 35 years, and 10 years later you go to the bank, oh, I'm not the same person anymore. All my cells changed, I'm not the same person anymore. I'm not going to pay it. Will it be okay? No. You are still the same person in the body. So the point is compassion for the soul, compassion for the body. But then one must know what the needs of the body are and what are the needs of the soul. The needs of the soul, you all know. What do we all want, really? We want to love and to be loved. That's the need of the soul. That, what's the need of the body? That many people say, you go into the street, you ask them, what's the goal of life? Enjoy! You only live once. But who can prove that? That you live only once? That even from the philosophical viewpoint, there are a few points to say here. That one philosopher said, if someone is born in the Sahel, suffering from birth, and another one is born with a golden spoon in their mouth. If God allows such differences, God must be a monster. But this is all explained in the Gita. That the Gita says that Dinasmin Chatade Kamram Javnam Jara Tatadhyantara Bhakti Diyastatranam Namuyati. Krishna, who is God, says to Arjuna, who presents all of us, Krishna says, your body has changed from baby, boiled, adult, then middle-aged man or woman, and then old age, and then the body dies. But one with spiritual advance is not disturbed during all these changes. That Krishna's. So, is there someone here whose body is not changing? You had all a baby body, but it's your baby body now. That, so, is it because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, oh Arjuna, because you are a Hindu, your body changes. But this is not applicable for the Christians, for the Muslims. No, their body does not change, right? No. This is universal knowledge. Krishna says to Arjuna, one who takes birth is sure to die. Someone here who will not die? That's, no? No, the body will die. That, so, but Krishna says also in Bhagavad Gita, one who lives only to give pleasure for the body, he lives in vain for nothing. Human life is meant to understand who we are. And what is our problem? That our problem is birth, death, old age and disease. That are the real problems of life. That not that I cannot pay my tax bill or I have a problem with this exam. Whatever you want to achieve in one life, at the end, all the same, finished, for nothing. Does that mean that we should not care? No, certainly not. Krishna says we have to do our duty very clearly. But what are our duties as a human being? But are our duties as a spirit soul? Who are we? These are questions of life. That not easy to get this knowledge in this world. Who am I? Where do I come from? Where do I go? When I was 7 years old, I asked my mother, "Mother, where do I come from?" And my mother said, "Oh, we found you in a cauliflower." My question was really sincere. And then 5 years later, I was 11, 12 years old, I asked my mother, "These old people, when they die, where do they go?" She looked at me with concern, put the palm of her hand on my forehead and said, "Are you not feeling well today?" And then, as a Roman Catholic, I went to the church, became an altar boy. I was really practicing the Christian religion, but no answers. Who am I? Where do I come from? Where do I go? Why am I here? I'm not here today to tell you to become a Hindu. No. I'm here today to give you some information from this Eastern wisdom which may help to improve the quality of our lives. And come to that point of giving love and be loved. This is essential. And the point is that why many times relationships do not work out. We think that giving pleasure to the body will give pleasure to the heart, but it's not. We have difficulty getting relationships with each other because our heart is hard. The hardness of the heart. To love and to give love, the heart has become soft heart. What's a hard heart? Relationships are based on you give to me and I take from you. And that's not going to work. That's a sense of exploitation. Exploitation is based on two aspects. I and mine. This I and mine is false. Why is it false? We say, this is mine. That's the reason why we suffer. We think things are ours. But it's yours before you came in this world. Will it be yours when after you go? But now we think it's mine. You have a new car, you think it's mine. If I come in and say, oh, I just saw 2 cars, frontal collision in the street. My friend would say, yes, that happens every day. What's the point? But when I come in and say, I saw just another car bumping in your car, my car, then that's serious. Immediately, it's a new car, a little scratch, I feel the pain. Because I think it's mine. It's a cause of suffering. Mine. Nothing is ours. So this sense of exploitation, trying to get something out of relationships for the satisfaction of my body and mind. That's the cause of suffering in this world. These relationships will not last very much. See many times relationships between man and woman, or husband and wife. You can have that relationship of different levels of consciousness, different levels. The first is relationships, sexual relationships, sexual craving. Therefore, there is attraction between the sexes. Must be there, but that should not be the essence. A little higher in our relationship is that we are doing things together, sleeping together, eating together, doing things together. A little higher relationship is we become friends, friendship. But that is all still on the level of the body. Relationships become really enjoyable when it comes on the spiritual platform, if we understand that we are not the body, but the consciousness within the body, which is eternal. The spirit soul is eternal. Is that not good news? To know that we are eternal? But the bad news is we are in this body. It's not our natural state. It's not our natural state to suffer, to go to birth, death, old age and disease, because that's not what we want. We want eternal love. So there is a higher relationship, and that relationship is supporting each other to come to the level of realizing that I'm a spirit soul. This book explains how we can act as a spirit soul. That's what we are, the consciousness in this body. And that's real compassion. If compassion starts with self-compassion. Self-compassion means understanding I'm not this body, and I'm going to disentangle myself from this birth, death, old age and disease. I want my eternal situation back. Many religions explain the same thing. Adam and Eve, they were eating they were enjoying this tree of evil and good. They entered the world of duality. We have entered the world of duality. We think what's good is what gives my body and mind pleasure. And what gives pain, I don't want that. That's interesting. That's what most people do. avoiding the distress and also only get the pleasure, and they don't want the distress. That's not good. So, who wants distress here? Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm happy with it.
No, but
for a purpose, of course.
For a purpose, okay.
For a reason. I won't go for Ram Julie.
Okay.
He puts suffering on when there's already pain pointless.
Yeah. I understand. But we don't want this suffering. But who is successful? If someone here that all his life is rose and nice, never suffering? No, you cannot avoid the suffering. I never met someone who said, I never had any suffering in my life, everything was good. No, we have all a lot of suffering. And some pleasure also. But we don't want a distress path, but still it's coming. Why is it coming? Bhagavad Gita explains that this is your karma. If you act as being in a consciousness that I'm the body, then you will get reactions. Acting as the body means acting to exploit. You want some benefit. That I'm working for my boss. Why? Because I want a salary. No salary, no work, I will not do it. Right? That everything is based on this exploitation in this world. That exploitation. But compassion starts with understanding who we are. That is the first step. First, I'm traveling a lot. I'm just coming from Bulgaria, going from one country to another. And on the airplane is always the same. They explain the security rules, and then in the unlikely event of landing on water, or in unlikely event of this or that, then an oxygen mask will drop above you. But first help yourself and then the others. That's what they say. First put your own oxygen mask and then help others. That if we want to be compassionate for others, we have first to learn to be compassionate with ourselves. And compassionate with ourselves means that one cleanses the heart of this tendency to exploit. And instead of you give to me, I take from you, I must come to I'm only giving without asking something in return. And that's pure love. And Bhagavad Gita explains the spirit soul is an eternal spark of God. And God is the source of all spiritual happiness. If we come in contact with God, that's called yoga. Giving only out of love is bhakti yoga, is the highest yoga, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. This giving is the highest yoga. A mother serves her child. Does the mother see at a certain moment, oh, now we have to pay the bill? No? It's out of love, only giving. Giving. Every mother knows that gives satisfaction to the heart. To the heart means the soul. That that voice within is the local aspects of God. With the soul there is Paramatma. Christian theology, there are a little other names. It's called the Holy Spirit. Within the heart. Krishna is reverse the spirit soul in the heart. But there is a difference. He's the controller. We don't control, really. We have some little free will. But are we in control of our lives? That everyone's heart is beating here. Do you control your heartbeat? No? Who is controlling? That usually at the end of our programs we are distributing some sacralized food, prashadam we call it. And after eating, then digestion is going on. I hope so, otherwise you are in trouble. Mm-hmm. Are you controlling digestion? You know how it goes? So, we are not really in control, partially. Otherwise, we don't want distress, but distress comes. So that, understanding that, humility, one becomes humble. And that's, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that's the first item of knowledge. Then you can start to understand who you are. If we think, I'm the controller and this is I and mine, Krishna will never give you realizations from within the heart, understanding who you are. It's not possible. So this little voice from within the heart is God with us. It's not far away. He never left us. But why don't we perceive him? We wanted to take his position as the enjoyer and the proprietor. In this Bhagavad Gita it says, Krishna says, he speaks about himself, Bhaktaram Chakyatabasam Sarvalokamarishvaram Sridam Sarvbhutanam Shattvamam Samtiprichyati. He says that I am seated, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices, and I am the proprietor of all planets and all what exists. And I'm the greatest friend of all living entities. Krishna loves us, God loves us. But we entered, we took the fruits of this tree of duality, good and bad. Good and bad relates to the body, not to the spirit soul. What we think is good, that's good for the body, or bad for the body. But the body is temporary. Yes, here compassion means realizing we are different from the body. We are eternal. And we are meant to love and to be loved. And that love will be there if we become materially exhausted. There are also such beautiful examples in the Christian tradition also. That's Francis from Assisi, great example, that who developed Islam. Our great spiritual master, Bhakti Charu Swami, when he was with us in the 70s, he went to Australia and he gave a lecture in a Franciscaner monastery, and he said to them, yes, you are also Vaishnavas, devotees of God. So this is not something sectarian, something universal. And that love we can experience when the heart is free from this tendency for exploitation. And this tendency for exploitation manifests in our mind under different forms. Under the forms lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy, the wanting to be honored. This is all a manifestation of a mind, of a consciousness polluted by this tendency of ein mind to exploit. And that makes our lives miserable. The more we are attached to things in this life, the more we will suffer. There's nothing wrong with being attached, but why we are attached? We are attached for enjoyment, for me, out of selfishness. That's not good. And how to get rid of these enemies within ourselves? It's by learning to act as a spirit soul and not a body. And that starts with seeing everyone as a spirit soul. Spirit soul is not only the human body, also animal bodies, plant bodies. But gradually, when it comes to higher and higher life forms, until one comes to the human form, and the human form is a special gift from God. Because this human form is endowed with intelligence. In the Vedic scriptures, the first, you have the Vedanta Sutra, or Brahma Sutras. This is a summary of all the knowledge in the Vedas. And there it is said, these are sutras, aphorisms, very cryptic. To understand that, you need a whole explanation. But one of the sutras is Aham Brahmasmi. I'm spirit, I'm not this body. And another aphorisms, Atato Brahma Jishnas. Now we have the human form of life. It's very valuable. That now you can understand who you are. We can use our intelligence to understand who we are. And a person who only lives to serve God and the others will feel great satisfaction within. I know so many monks, nuns all over the world, and they live to serve humanity, to serve God. That 30 years ago, when I was working in the hospital was run by sisters, Sienzer sisters. And I spoke with them, and they said, yes, I'm working in the hospital as a nurse, as a nun. She said, I'm working but I'm seeing in everyone my Lord Jesus Christ. So that's the same thing. That just the same thing. They are not working for their own. And such work is purifying the heart from these tendencies. And the more the heart is purified, the consciousness is purified, the more you become detached from this world and attached to God. And the more you are able to give love and to receive love. The pleasure of the soul is called spiritual ecstasy. The pleasure of the body, it's like eating. You have hunger. I'm hungry. What does it mean? It's a pain in the body. And then you eat and the pain is gone and you think that's my pleasure. But there's a higher pleasure, the pleasure of the soul. So, that was my message to you this evening, that to purify the heart, we require transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge is knowledge about the soul. Therefore you find all these books here. We chant the names of God, Hare, Krishna, Rama, because it's a spiritual vibration which cleanses the consciousness of this lust, anger, greed and so on. And by that we are developing a beautiful character. We become warm-hearted persons. I'm not saying that the Dalai Lama is wrong. I'm just saying that this is the process to attain what he is saying. It's a process of self-realization. That, and then one can laugh and be loved. Thank you very much. Yes, sure.
Does anyone want to ask any questions? Yeah. Thank you for your talk. It was really needed. I really needed that talk this evening. It's quite poignant for me at the moment, and I'm feeling there's a specific process to purify our heart within this tradition. Would you recommend that, we all carry our own personal issues within us that carry on from lifetime after lifetime, and we carry them on into the next life? Would you recommend that we also look at those issues and work on those issues separately, as well as chanting and as well as working with these processes that the Bhagavad Gita? Does that speed up because to become aware and become conscious of the issues that are arising?
In psychology, and when you have a problem, you become aware of it, then you can do something about it. But according to the teachings in Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures, it's that we went to so many lifetimes, and we have done so much stupid things that we don't remember them. It's good, because otherwise, if you remember all this, we have so many issues in this life. If you would remember all the issues of previous life, you would not be able to live. Too much frustration. We have already the frustration to deal with in this life. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadam Pratyamam Kam Saram Vacham Tvam Sarvapabhyo Mokshisya Simachta. Just surrender unto me, and I will take care of all these things of the past and purify your heart. I will purify your heart completely. I will take care of it, he says. So the point is, what does that surrender mean to God? What does it mean? That we have to remember all these things? No. Surrender to God means giving up our idea that we are this body. And that's called false ego. We have a real ego. False ego is very strong. I'm a man, I'm a woman. It's strong. It's not just to give up. It takes a long time. I'm in this process for 30 years. And I can say my conscience has changed. I'm not yet there, but it's definitely changed all these years. I'm not the same person anymore as 30 years ago. It's changed my heart tremendously. But it requires giving up this false ego. And this false ego, Krishna says in 3:30 of Bhagavad Gita, has two elements. Nirasir nirmamo. That I am the enjoyer and I'm the proprietor. And that's the problem. Because by identification with the body, we develop likes and dislikes. I like this, I don't like that. Because that gives me pain. I like this. These are my likes and these are my dislikes. And this person, I like him because he likes what I like and he does not like what I like. But this person, no. He does not like what I like. And why that's duality. We create enemies and friends like that. And Krishna says in 3:34, the obstacles for spiritual advancement are raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion. So we have to work on giving up dislikes and dislikes. Instead, we must learn to think not what's good for my body and mind, or what's bad of my body and mind, what's good for my soul. And that is the process to get free of this false ego. And it's a tough thing. 30 years I'm working on it. And I must say, it's much better now than 30 years ago. But to get liberated from that concept, it goes all is more subtle and subtle. And it means going to crisis after crisis. But it's like Mother Teresa said, you suffer to never suffer again. It's so beautiful. Yes. Because there are many much more details to say. I cannot speak about 30 years of my life, all the realizations in a few words. But it's good.
May I ask you if there's any comments you can make on chapter 13.8 to 12? It might be, if I'm correct, the enjoyer image. I was reading it just a minute ago before coming in. 13.8 to 12, is that correct?
13.8 to 12.
It's four
items of knowledge.
4 items of knowledge in the same. That might pertain to what's being said here.
Yeah, of course. This is technical.
Okay.
Chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita. I would say it's for those who are a little advanced in this study, but I mentioned already many things. That we have the body. The body is called in Sanskrit kshetra, the field of activities. You have, like in England, you see that all the houses, they have a garden, a courtyard, and like the children play in the courtyard, they are safe, they cannot go beyond the limits of them. So we cannot go beyond the limits of the body. That I cannot walk to the wall, it's not possible. The body will not allow me. So, at least this body.
You consent your body.
That, yeah.
You consent to mine, you consent to yours body. each
Yeah.
other's we can't.
So that's called kshetra. Then Krishna says there is the kshetra kya, the one who knows the body. That's the spirit soul. We know through the consciousness, through the bloodstream, we are aware what's going on in our body. But I do not know what's going on in your body, only my body. But there is a second kshetra here, the Paramatma in the soul. And Paramatma knows what is going in my body, because he arranges for the digestion, the bloodstream, everything is going on, he's doing all this. But he's not only aware for my body, but everyone's body here. So interesting, Krishna is in the heart. You try it out. This person does not like me. And you pray to God in the heart of that person, please make his or her heart soft for me. See what happens. Anyway, you are doing your job. You are doing your job, and you decide to do it for God, for Krishna. Then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, is in the heart. He says, Sarvasham Vidisha Nivishta Mata Shmitranamapamsa. I'm seated in everyone's heart, he says, and I give remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Everything you know, what you forget, he gives. So, if you need knowledge for your job, you pray to Krishna and see what happens. I invite you to do that and see what's the result. What's the result? If you are humble, he may help you. Otherwise, he helps us always. We have our desires. He helps us to fulfill our desires to the extent we deserve. But then there is jnana, knowledge about who we are. That knowledge about the evil of birth and death. That there are 21 items of knowledge that by which we can understand what's going on. So much knowledge in Bhagavad Gita, wisdom, which we can use in our lives, become better persons, and come to a higher level of enjoyment. It's not that life is not meant for enjoyment. You want all enjoyment, but it should not be sought in the body, but in relation to the spirit soul. That it's not that we don't care for the body because we are not the body. No, it's a gift of God. We must maintain it very nicely. And so much to say about it. Just a few points. Good. Thank you very much. I was very happy to be with you. I hope it was a little useful, this talk. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.